first page. Okay. All right, so first, we've done this a lot this year so far. Okay, how do I simplify something like 1a there? What do I do? Distribute, good. So I'm going to distribute in here. Okay. So I'd have 10x squared minus 6x plus 14. Right? Okay. Then on the next one, I'd have x squared minus 4x. Okay. Take a second and try part C. Mandy, there's a new seating chart. There's a new seating chart. Okay. So check the list over there to see your new number. So your phone needs to go there too. That's your new number. Okay, take a second and try part C. All right. Okay, so I put the 3x squared to each piece, so I'd have 3x cubed minus 6x cubed plus 24x squared. Am I done on that one? No, because it has like terms. I got to combine the two x cubes. So it'd be negative 3x cubed plus 24x squared. Okay? Guys, remember doing that? Okay, any questions? No? Okay. We're not going to, don't worry about that yet. We're not ready for that quite yet. Okay. Skip down to the greatest common factor, okay? So we're going to start, well, here, we can talk about factoring. Factoring is, think of it like the opposite of distributing. Okay? So distributing is what I just did. That's when I took something and I multiplied it by each piece inside the parenthesis. What factoring is the opposite of that. We're going to start splitting things apart, okay, instead of multiplying things together, okay? The first thing is that we're going to talk about is greatest common factor. Does anybody remember what that means, the greatest common factor? Anybody remember what that means from previous math classes? What's the greatest common factor? Anybody? If it's the amount of number, no, that's a good guess though. That's a good guess though, okay? So anyone else want to take a guess? Okay, the greatest common factor is the biggest term that goes into everything. Now that probably doesn't make any sense yet, but it will. Okay, let's say I had 2x plus 4. Okay? Is there anything that goes into both the 2x and the 4? 2. So the greatest common factor in that is 2. That's the biggest thing that goes into everything, right? Okay, then if I wanted, what if I had 6x squared plus 3x? Okay, so on this one, the GCF was 2. Okay, the GCF on, yeah, why, Tyler? Good job, Tyler. Yeah, it's 3x. They both have x's. They don't both have x squareds though, right? So but they both have x's, and 6 and 3, the biggest thing that goes into both of those nicely is the 3. Good job. Okay. So far, so good? Okay. So types of GCFs, they can be numbers, they can be variables, or they can be numbers and variables. And I couldn't think of a fourth one. Oh, no, wait a minute. I just thought of it now. Or if there's no GCF, then it's 1. Okay? If there's no GCF, then the GCF is 1. Okay? Okay, there's a new seating chart, so check the list for your new number. Okay? So an example of that fourth one would be like, what if I had 5 plus x? Do you see how they don't both have an x, right? And 5 doesn't go into x, right? So when you can't think of a GCF, if there isn't one, then it's just 1, because everything divides by 1. Where's your seat? 6. Right here. Okay. Is there any questions so far about what a GCF is? Anything? Okay. Now, on the first one, and on the second one, for now, I just want you to think of the GCF, okay? So look at 3A and 3B, and I just want you to think of the GCF, okay? Anyone think they have the GCF for the first one? Yeah, 2, good. So now what we need to do is we need to factor it out. We're doing the opposite of distributing. So instead of giving a 2 to everything, we're going to take a 2 out of everything, right? Now when I give a 2 to everything, I'm multiplying it in, right? What's the opposite of multiplication? Division. So instead of timesing everything by 2, I'm going to divide everything by 2. Okay, so I'd have 5x squared minus 3x plus 7. Now, I'm not actually trying to change the expression. I'm just trying to write it as its factors, right? So I still need the 2 there. Think about if I asked you to factor 10. You wouldn't just tell me 5, right? You'd tell me 2 times 5 is 10. Does that make sense? So this is now factored. Okay, let's stop there and see if there's any questions. Okay, let's do one more together. What's the GCF on B? 5, good. So now I'm going to divide everything by 5. So my factored form is 5 times 3x cubed minus x squared minus 4x plus 1. Okay? I want you to take a second with your neighbors, and I want you to try parts C and D. And then we'll move on to the next part.